Welcome back. Let's speak with the management of Equitas Small Finance Bank. N Vasudevan, who's the MD and CEO of the company, now joins in. Mr. Vasudevan, thank you so much for joining in. It's a pleasure speaking with you. I'm looking at your numbers. Your slippage is just under 300 crore rupees and your restructured book just under 1200 crore rupees. Both of them are elevated. Can you tell us how much of your slippages came in from the restructured book and how much of your restructured book can actually slip into an NPA from here?
Yeah, good morning. So our restructured book actually was about 1750 crores. That's the total amount of book that we restructured last year under COVID-2, wave 2. And that has now come down to under 1200 crores. It's about 5.5% of the total book now. Out of that, in the first quarter, we saw a slip up of 295 crores. Out of 295, about 70% comes from the restructured book and the remaining 30% comes from the non-restructured book. As far as the 95% of our book is concerned, which is a non-restructured, the metrics of quality parameters across all category of metrics is actually back to the pre-COVID levels. So that 95% of the book, we don't see any issue going forward. As far as this 5.5% restructured book is concerned, we have set out in our investor presentation the bucket-wise movement of this restructured book. And we also took this additional provisioning in the first quarter of restructured book, which has moved into NPA in terms of vehicle finance and small business loans from a conservative perspective. And so we expect that our credit cost, which is about 2.7% in the first quarter, should overall for the full year end at around 1.5%.
Okay, so I just wanted to actually understand if you had to talk about asset quality stress at this point between the small loan segment as well as the vehicle finance, can you break it up for us, and what are you guiding for going forward as well, say in terms of recoveries?
See, the small business loan comprises about 45% of our total book, and that's our flagship product. And so that book has been actually performing quite well, both the non-restructured and the restructured book. As far as the vehicle finance is concerned, that's about 25% of our book. And as I mentioned just a little while ago, the non-restructured book, the performance metrics is actually back to the pre-COVID levels, so that we don't see any stress building up. As far as the restructured book is concerned, in vehicle finance, it's about 590 crores as of June. And, conservatively in the first quarter, we took a larger amount of provision. Almost half of the provision of first quarter was on account of conservative approach. We took 76 crores. Going forward, we expect some of that to be actually returned back as some of those NPA accounts get resolved. Typically we have a 40% loss when we resolve a vehicle finance NPA. And we have taken 100% provision in the first quarter. So we expect some reversal of provision to come through in the subsequent quarters. And
so overall, these are business issues. We would have, liked to speak a lot more about AUM growth and NIMs, etc. as well. But the bigger question is that you've decided to move on. The street wants to know who would be the candidate that would replace you. Any word on that? Would that be internal, external? Any word on by when we can hear? Have you guys decided? Is there a short list?
The process is on. We have a search committee formed by the board, and the process is currently on. Right now, we have nothing much to disclose in terms of any candidate. I mean, as and when we are into that situation, definitely we will be doing that. But currently, I can tell you that the process is on, and the transition itself, we expect it to be a very smooth transition, because basically the bank is well positioned and the fundamentals of the bank are very strong. And the second thing is that I don't have a particular timeline within which I need to move out. We have time on our side, so we don't have to rush up and hurry it through. So we expect the process to itself to do it very properly and ensure that whomever we get is a person who is completely aligned to our business model, aligned to our values and culture. And the transition itself, we expect it to be very smooth.
Right, Mr. Vasudevan, we'll touch base with you when you have a little more clarity, and wish you luck as well. Thanks very much for joining in and speaking with us. Well, that is Equitas Small Finance Bank, stock down around 4%. We need to take a short break, but more on stocks and commodities once we're back. Stay tuned.